Thanks for joining us. I'm Kenesha Dees. We begin this week in review with a follow-up on the recovery of a Huntsville police officer. You may recall Albert Morin, who was one of 2 officers shot while responding to a call last week. Well, some good news here. Huntsville police said in a social media post that Morin was taken off the ventilator this week and was able to smile and talk with fellow officers and was given dozens of get well cards at his hospital bed. His responding partner, Garrett Crumby, though, died from his wounds. His memorial service was on April 3rd. You can catch up with all the details on that story with our special 54 timeline report on Fox 54 Plus and fox54.com. This weekend, we're starting with reports on the Huntsville boom. As the city grows, so do some of its biggest employers and the demand for energy. Plus, a former 5-time space camper is named a crew member for a historic mission to the moon. Here's a look at North Alabama at its best for the week of March 31st through April 6th.
Every day it seems like something's new here in the Tennessee Valley, and the Rocket City in Northrop Grumman is no different. For instance, they're expanding in Huntsville. This morning it opened a new 2-building campus for its launch and missile defense systems and products. The company says will help them better serve its customers.
We have an opportunity to showcase and celebrate the investment that Northrop Grumman has made within the community here in Huntsville. We are bringing together our teams that support our missile defense business here within our new facilities. It's an investment in them in this new modern space with amenities that are going to enhance the employee experience.
And we hear a lot about climate change and what we can all do to help reduce our carbon footprint. Well, get this, Huntsville Utilities, Toyota Alabama, and Tusho have teamed up to help reduce the footprint here in Huntsville. Our Ken McCoy is here, and Ken, the metro area does have quite a bit of manufacturing.
That would be correct, Kenesha, and as you could probably guess, we could probably use a little help reducing our carbon footprint. Luckily, 70% of Toyota Alabama will be powered by the sun, so that's a start.
This is one of our first partnerships that we've been able to come to and work with an industry for this big of an environmental impact.
More than 70% of Toyota Alabama's power will soon be generated by the sun.
When you start talking about 70% of your power is going to be made by solar power, it's a huge effect for the whole city, but also it's an effect for the whole world when we start talking about the carbon imprint of it.
Huntsville Utilities, Toyota Alabama, and Toyota Tusho announced a power purchase agreement to support a 160-acre, $49 million solar project. The 30-megawatt solar generator system is expected to generate 62,000 megawatt-hours annually, reducing approximately 22,000 metric tons of CO2 emissions per year. Toyota Alabama shares how the project benefits North Alabama.
I think this project is great. Like we shared, you know, our carbon neutrality goals for operations in North America by 2035, and this starts us on that path. And again, for North Alabama, for Huntsville, I think it's huge. Our biggest role is the land. You know, out of the 168 acres that this solar array will take, 130 of it is on Toyota property. And again, we've just been trying to strategically, you know, what could we use for renewable energy and then still leave us some space for expansion down the road.
And Huntsville Utilities shares how this partnership benefits the residents.
It helps Toyota reach their corporate sustainability goals. It's good for the ratepayers of Huntsville Utilities because we're acquiring this power at less cost than we normally acquire from TVA.
Simply put,
the ratepayers are benefiting when the sun shines. So whenever the sun is shining and those electrons are flowing onto our system, that's lower cost power that's benefiting all the ratepayers in Huntsville.
And the solar facility is scheduled to begin generating solar energy next summer.
Well, some nonprofits in Athens have thousands of reasons to smile today. The Tennessee Valley Authority distributed another round of TVA Cares funding in partnership with Athens Utilities. Our reporter Jasmine Burt tells us how the gift helps.
Today, TVA is providing funds to local nonprofit organizations right here in the city of Athens, but that's not all. Athens Electric is matching it.
The floors are bad and we need to redo the floors, and plus our doors are always open to anyone in the community, like any organization that need to use the building. We always provide them with a place to be.
Athens Limestone Community Association is one of the local nonprofits benefiting from the $55,000 donation total.
TVA started the Community Care Fund program in April 2020 as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic.
TVA Community Relations Specialist Keontae Stone says they wanted to come up with a way to help communities affected by the pandemic.
And so we partnered with local power companies like Athens Utilities to be able to help them identify nonprofits, organizations that will provide programs and services to help the community through the pandemic.
Athens Mayor Ronnie Marks says this is a great opportunity to give back to the community.
So this year, it was wonderful. It was $27,500. We matched that and gave away $55,000 to nonprofit organizations in our community that provide the services that so many people need.
Athens Art League President Garth Lovern says they truly can't thank benefactors enough, and they will use this money for a myriad of various projects.
Of one of which will be the Scout House, which is a project that's known pretty well here in Limestone County, which will be a building that's basically a music building.
The funded projects will impact students reading below grade level, people who need transportation for job training, and those who want more access to the arts. In Athens, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Now, another hot zip code on Unzipped, sponsored by Engel & Volkers.
Our Nixon Norman has been unzipping the Tennessee Valley for nearly a year now, and it's that time of month again to take a deeper look into another local area. This month, we dive into Meridianville, a place that was once nothing but farmlands. And although there is still plenty of farmland there, this area has grown exceptionally over the past 20 years.
For many people, 35759 is home.
I'd probably describe it as a place that I'd want to raise my family.
And that's exactly what Earl Hudson with Engel & Volkers did. He raised his family in Meridianville, Alabama. Now he's back working side by side with his daughter, Lauren Hudson Hicks, who's also an advisor with Engel & Volkers.
This is where I grew up. As you can see behind me, there's school buses, there's Meridianville Middle School, and I'm a first generation Meridianville middle schooler. I know the people who own Tate Farms. I know the people who own Hubert Farms. This is a place where if you want to have a family and feel like home, this is it.
But Meridianville didn't always look the way it does now. The development that took place here really skyrocketed in the past 2 decades.
I mean, when you're driving down the roads and you're trying to visualize what used to be there, most likely it was a field. But if it's doubled in size over the last 20 years, what is it going to do in another 20? I mean, so to me, Meridianville is a place of opportunity.
20 years ago, Meridianville sat at a population of around 4,000 people. That has since doubled to over 8,000 people now living in this area. And of course, housing has to keep up.
You have communities popping up everywhere on Stigger's Curb. I mean, you have 9 different communities just off of that road.
With more population and more housing, job opportunities must also be there.
Industries like Ulista are here. We actually got to see a helicopter land, which is so cool. So at any given time, you could just be driving down the road and see a Black Hawk. You could see an Apache.
Although there has been an industry shift, farmers who first settled in Meridianville laid the foundation for what it is today.
Our history comes from the people who have lived here, the people who have now passed their farms on to their kids. So, I mean, the historic value here is the generations of families that have just continued to live here.
A similar story to the Hudsons, the father-daughter duo out of the 35759.
I think that what we can build over the next 10 years may be a legacy that she can continue to build after I decide to really retire.
With this month's Unzipped, I'm Nixon Norman, Fox 54 News.
The theft of catalytic converters has been a problem since the start of the pandemic. New data from BN Verified, a public data company, shows catalytic converter thefts have skyrocketed nearly 200% here in Alabama in the last 3 years. Our Nixon Norman has more on how you can protect your car.
That same study from Been Verified estimates that the theft of catalytic converters quadrupled across the U.S. in 2021. That's a 353% increase from all reported theft in 2020. As for last year, there were 445 catalytic converter thefts just here in the state of Alabama. Although some call this trend an epidemic, there are still plenty of things you can actually do to protect yourself from falling victim to this crime. For starters, always park your car in the garage. But not everyone has one. Luckily, there are other options. You can also spray paint your entire catalytic converter end to end with bright, high-temperature paint. This makes it much harder for a thief to sell the part, because in order to sell, they'll have to scrape all of that paint off. Now, painting is the cheaper option, but if you do have the money to spend, cages like these are another option. They have to be welded on, so of course, they're much harder to take off. Lastly, you can also help law enforcement catch these folks by etching your car's VIN number into the converter's exterior. That way, if it ends up in a scrapyard, it can still be traced back to you. For more information on protecting yourself and your car, visit fox54.com. Nixon Norman, Fox 54 News.
The 2022 Rocket City Trash Pandas season was a historic one. First of all, it was the first full 138-game season in the Pandas' short history, and it was also the first season where 100% capacity was allowed at Toyota Field for 100% of the season. On the field, the Pandas were led by first-year manager Andy Schatzley, and they won a lot of games, posting an above 500 record every single month of the year. And for the first time in franchise history, championships were won. Rocket City finished the first half of the season with a 41-28 record and as Southern League North Division first half champs. That clinched the Pandas their first playoff spot in franchise history in just June. But the team was just getting started. The second half of the season was equally successful. In August, the Pandas had their best month of the year, winning 17 games, and in September, even more history. On the third day of the month, Chase Silseth, Luke Murphy, and Eric Torres teamed up for the first no-hitter in Trash Pandas history. And later on, Rocket City clinched the second half division title to essentially win the Southern League North Division outright. The Pandas finished the season with an 81-57 overall record, which was the best record in the Southern League and the second best record in all of AA baseball. Now, despite how the season ended with the Pandas falling in the first round of the playoffs, it was, of course, a great year to be a fan. Toyota Field led the Southern League in attendance, and the Trash Pandas did not lose a single regular season series at home in 2022. And at the end of the year, 14 of the Angels' top 30 prospects were Pandas. Here's to an even better 2023. I'm Nick Kuzma, Fox 54 Sports.
Well, there's a local team of really smart young women who call themselves the Nerdettes. They love anything STEM related and are interested in getting girls interested in science, technology, engineering, and math careers. Our Jasmine Bird introduces us to the All-Girls Community Tech Challenge team.
We try to stay in our little area because we do have a partner, and you don't want to get in their way and you don't want to get in the way of other people because you're not controlling the robot. This is pre-programmed. Eventually I'll see her walking by as I keep tapping it. So normally our robot will be over in this area and it'll be looking at that sleeve, but right now this is what it's seeing.
Says Huntsville High School senior and member of the All-Girls Community Tech Challenge team, also known as the Nerdettes, Emily King.
We have two drive teams, Drive Team A, Drive Team B, and we alternate like every other match. So.
Ellen Vegarita is also a part of the Nerdettes, and she is a Huntsville High School sophomore. Vegarita also shares a few tips as to how they play a match.
Our main tactic is we go from these side stacks right here and we try to go all over the field. A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll go to the high junction, which is the highest pole. There's 4 of them, and they'll take these cones from over here where the human player is, and they'll just stack as many as they can do.
Vegarita says her favorite part about being a Nerdette is being an example for the younger crowd.
kind of showing this is cool and anyone can do it.
Lily Sullivan is an 11-year-old student at Liberty Middle School and the youngest Nerdette member. Sullivan sees her teammates as more than just teammates.
Obviously, I'm the youngest on the team, so I looked at them more as sisters than you would look at your teammates as teammates. It's just been a really big part of my life, and it's something I will never be able to forget.
The Nerdette's goal is to continue spreading the word about FIRST, which stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology, in hopes to also continue encouraging the formation of new teams. In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Now, the Valley's top teacher, sponsored by Calhoun Community College.
For one teacher at East Limestone High School, every day is an easy day in his classroom. It's because he has the rep of making learning fun and engaging. Science is what drives him. Here's this week's Valley's top teacher, James Fountain. Welcome.
Give me a little bit more excitement, please. Easy day?
To James Fountain's 7th grade science class.
All right, let's go, let's go.
He also goes by Coach Fountain, and what gets him motivated every day in the 6 years he's been teaching.
I have a passion for learning, and I have a passion for sharing my experiences and want to encourage the students to do better and do more and see them succeed in the future. My teacher experience started before then, but I took a hiatus, and the more I was engaged in different communities in the classrooms, doing outreach through Alabama A&M, I had a passion to come back into the classroom.
His deeper passion?
Specifically life science, but really all different subject matters of science, is always able to keep my attention.
And while he's not in the lab, he's on the mat. It's his first year coaching wrestling.
It kept me focused both in the classroom and outside the classroom towards something positive.
Coach Fountain is a great guy to have on campus. Students really love him in the classroom. He's a hardworking individual. We love having him here at East. He is a true blessing to our school.
Juggling both science and sports, you'd think Coach Fountain can do it all.
Well, I can't claim to do everything, but I do my best.
And his best is having faith in the future generation of leaders.
Really and truly, this generation has nothing but greatness ahead of them. I see them taking things definitely way further than I have and beyond. So they have a lot of potential, and I see nothing but greatness ahead of them.
Wow, well, congratulations, Coach Fountain. Check out the moment his class cheered him on when he was surprised as top teacher. Head on over to fox54.com and nominate a teacher too. Today, the official crew for the Artemis II mission was announced, including 3 American astronauts and 1 Canadian astronaut. One of those astronauts actually attended space camp right here in the Rocket City. Our Nixon Norman tells us more about this astronaut and just how special this mission is, Nixon.
It is so special and so cool. That astronaut actually is Christina Hammock Cook. She did in fact attend space camp here in Huntsville and made NASA history by completing the longest space flight by a woman with a total of 328 days in space. She won't be walking on the moon this go around, but Cook could eventually be the first woman to walk on the moon. Let's watch.
If you think back to the end of last year, you may remember hearing talk of the Artemis I mission. Artemis I was the uncrewed flight test of the Space Launch System and the Orion spacecraft around the moon. Unlike Artemis I, Artemis II will be crewed. Today, that crew was announced.
Today, we stand on the shoulders of giants as we reach farther into the stars and push forward to the moon once again and on to Mars. These individuals of Artemis II crew will be the first humans to fly to the vicinity of the moon in more than 50 years.
One of those crew members is Christina Hammock Cook.
She's an engineer who got her start at Goddard and is no stranger to breaking records, logging the longest continuous space flight ever by a woman, your mission specialist, Christina Hammock Cook.
Cook is a 5-time Space Camp alumna and 2019 Space Camp Hall of Famer, meaning yes, Cook has stepped foot right here in the Rocket City. And if Artemis II is successful, she'll be the first woman to step foot on the moon ever.
It will be a 4-day journey going 250,000 miles, continuing to test out every bit of Orion going around the far side of the moon, heading home, going through the Earth's atmosphere at over 25,000 miles per hour and splashing down in the Pacific. So, am I excited? Absolutely.
Although a crew of only 4 will be making their way into space, this crew represents an entire generation. The generation that is making its way back to the moon.
All of you will lead us into this brave new frontier. You are the Artemis generation. We are the Artemis generation.
For more information about the Artemis mission and these astronauts, head on over to fox54.com. Live in the studio, Nixon Norman, Fox 54 News.
Well, not everyone is excited about Subway's new Easter-themed sandwich. The chain is teaming up with Cadbury for a limited edition chocolate sandwich, which features the famous cream egg. The bizarre concoction will be given away for free on Good Friday at select Subway restaurants, but in the United Kingdom. Some people are already weighing in, calling it absolutely disgusting, and I agree.
So can I just get the bread? Do I have to put it on a sandwich? Because if I just get the bread, it's essentially a donut, which we do all the time. We covered donuts and chocolate.
Yeah, I was just about the Nutella spread on toast, totally normal.
Exactly.
When you put it on a hoagie roll, you get embarrassed.
See, the thing is, to start with, I don't even like Cadbury chocolate, so I know it's a no for me.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Don't go to the United Kingdom over the next week.
Cream eggs on bread, thanks, but no thanks. That's it for the Fox 54 Week in Review. I'm Kenesha Dees. Visit fox54.com for all the latest headlines. Have a good Easter weekend. For those who mark the holiday, we'll see you next time.